Thanks very much for that. Another viewpoint on opportunity, and a fascinating one at that. Now, I'm very aware of what the time is. We've got our final speaker from our panel, Carrie Vanderhorst, who is the Executive Vice President of the Dominican Exporters Association. Carrie.
Well, good afternoon. On behalf of the Dominican Exporters Association and our Board of Directors, please allow me to express our profound appreciation for Dominican exporters, for the Caribbean Exports invitation to this important colloquium, aimed at assessing the current status of export-led growth in the Caribbean and setting the scene for a new framework for export development. In so doing, I take the opportunity to present greetings and sincere apologies from Mr. Kai Schoenhals, our president, who was not able to be here tonight, this afternoon with us because he had previous commitments. Being last in this panel and right before the day's wrap-up, I will do my best to be, and I promise to do my best to be short and to the point. Before that, I do want to give us a short overview of what has been the Dominican's export scene for the last years. The Dominican export structure has evolved significantly over the past 15 years, increasing over 96%, as you can see in the graphic, since 1997, and experienced an important transformation on its composition between the free zones and national exports. By national exports, we want to clarify that those are the productions that are being outside of free zones and without any fiscal or any such help or facilities. Back in '97, our national exports were composed mainly of traditional and mineral products. By traditional, we refer to sugar, tobacco, cocoa, and coffee exports in the raw states. Whereas in 2012, our non-traditional products accounted for almost 80% of our national exports. Taking into account Europe's growing demand for exotic, healthy, socially and environmentally responsible agricultural products, our focus has been shifted towards specialty products, organic and free trade certified, in order to supply a niche and high quality markets. Great examples are our mangoes, pineapples, papayas, coconuts, avocados, and Asian vegetables, that supply exotic as well as nostalgic markets. Eastern European markets alone have the most important coffee consumption in the world, importing 46% of the global production. And the import of organic and fair trade has grown on average 20% each year. So that's a very important information to take into account. We have great opportunities ahead. Caribbean ACP countries are still supplying a very limited amount of products compared to the European Union's demand. I know that this information is very small, but I can share it with you later on. But to give you an example, the vegetable products imported by the European Union worldwide were 700 million US dollars. While only 393 million came from Caribbean ACP countries. So we have a great opportunity there. Dominican producers have understood that specialization and sophistication is the best bet toward a growing presence in international markets, and especially the European one. Certainly, our region's private sector has faced extraordinary challenges in the last 2 decades, and it has been extensively discussed by previous and distinguished speakers and panelists before me. But also we have risen to meet some of those challenges. It is not an easy task to cope with rising imports and other effects resulting from the erosion of preferences while undertaking programs and actions to enhance countries' and enterprise competitiveness, which is essential, obviously, for reaping the benefits of free trade agreements such as the EPA and compete in world markets. The the Dominican Republic, shares all the regulatory, structural, and financial constraints currently faced by CARICOM countries. But some companies have understood that we also have a competitive edge that can and needs to be exploited. With this background in mind, I'm going to briefly point out a couple of issues that we believe need to be seriously tackled in order to be successful in revamping exports as a catalyst for export-led growth, which is exactly the objective of colloquiums and forums like this one, and which some of our members have taken on as part of their expansion agenda and have proved to be key to their success, both locally and international markets. First of all, change of mindset. We need to start addressing export as a strategy. I think it was Mr. Chiatao who said it before me, that exports are a full-time job. So we need to take this on with commitment and not by chance operation. Companies need to understand that a whole range of issues must be sorted out before they try to penetrate foreign markets. Secondly, innovation and competitiveness at the core of export strategy. We need to think outside the box. I love the examples that my previous panelists gave on the tea marketing strategies. We need to diversify products. We need to mark a difference in uniqueness in products and services, carve niches, strategic alliances and joint ventures to service large demands and markets, and provide for financing options to expand production, invest in new technologies, etc. We have had several examples, great examples in the Dominican Republic of joint ventures. One is the Indomina case, which is a creative industry sector. The Indomina is a film studio born from the innovative vision of the V Group and a joint venture between DR and an English company and a British company. So we have had a great experience and we're trying to multiply that. The development of integrated regional exports. This was discussed earlier this morning as well. We need to improve competitiveness and increase international market access, promotion, and penetration, not only to the EU markets, but as well amongst the Caribbean. And for this to happen, I agree that the Article 238 should be implemented. Thirdly, market intelligence. Most companies go to trade fairs and missions without proper information for decision making, starting with the right cost and price determination, among other important elements. We appreciate highly Caribbean Exports' engagement in a market intelligence program to provide real-time information crucial for the export operation, particularly for SMEs who do not have the human and financial resources to undertake research locally and in target markets. My fourth point today is financing. Similar to the rest of the Caribbean, in our experience, financing is one of the key factors which hinders management, production, and commercialization initiatives necessary. In the Dominican Republic, while still an outstanding and critical issue, some progress has been made with respect to developing diverse sources of financing such as stock exchange market, factoring, angel investors, and venture capitals, which are in process right now. Transportation and logistics. This is another major issue hampering export efforts all throughout the region. Many studies have been concluded, but the solution is yet to be found to frequent and competitive inter-regional transportation. And finally, public and private partnerships. As old as they are, it's imperative that public and private sector put their act together, agree on a roadmap, and commit to SMART. In that, I mean specific, measurable, realistic, and timely goals that can be achieved and monitored, and that can allow for effective impact assessments. We need to facilitate mobility for business people, and I speak on experience. It is very difficult for us to move around even inside the Caribbean. This still represents an obstacle for at least Dominicans traveling to Europe and to most Caribbean countries, and it gets complicated while applying and waiting for visas. Finally, product and service differentiation, value-added, market intelligence, regulations, certifications, packaging, labeling, and branding are success factors to be taken seriously in the region, not only by the private but also by the public sector, to consolidate an export-led growth model. At AdoExpo, we are ready to embrace this challenge to export-led development and look forward to continued cooperation that will enable us to transform the existing opportunities into exports and many more success stories. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share our views on this issue, which is crucial to our region, economic development and prosperity.
Carrie, thank you very much for that, and also for your brevity as well, which has sort of got us a little bit nearer to being back on time. I think given where we are, I'll bring this final panel session to a close, but I just wanted to comment in thanking all of you, is what to me is very striking is the innovative and creative approaches you are all taking to addressing problems of Caribbean export, which was really rather different to the previous panel, who were looking at rather more traditional exporting methods. But again, a group of people with tremendous enthusiasm, indicating just how much can actually be done by looking at export opportunities in a different way. So thank you all very much. Thank you.